Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of our practice video. Today you are in our kitchen.
Yay.
This is where our refrigerator used to be.
We're having fun with this. We just decided we're gonna have some fun with this.
That's right. So, and it's been quite a day because our piano got taken out today. Here are a few fun pics of them getting it down the staircase.
Just in case you were wondering.
People always ask, how did they get it up here? This is how. So, but anyhow, we are really excited that it is Thanksgiving week.
Yes.
We have been looking forward to this week, and just a minute to kind of catch our breath. And I know it's just a great time for the holidays and for all of that. And did want to remind you that this last Sunday was the International Day of Giving for Hope Worldwide. And so thank you to everybody who has donated. Really, really grateful for your generosity. If you have not given, or you forgot to give, or you weren't there on Sunday, just wanted to put that reminder out there so that you could do that and be a part of our support for Hope Worldwide and everything that they're doing.
Amen.
So, but today, we don't have a long practice video. This is more of a public service announcement.
Yes.
Of something that we
Exciting.
wanted to explain to you and then ask for your help if you're interested.
Yes.
So we want to talk about the Heritage Project.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, you don't have kids that are in 5th and 6th grade, I want to give you just the briefest version of what the Heritage Project is. It's basically a program that we designed for parents, families of 5th and 6th graders,
Yeah.
to help them grow spiritually through that very tumultuous time in their life. You know, if you can remember 5th and 6th grade, not the easiest time, getting ready to go into middle school, all of that. So we tried to put together a program that would help families stay spiritual or be able to find their place in God's story during that time. So each week, our 5th and 6th graders watch a video at home with their families that's about 15 minutes long. They read a little bit from something called The Story, which is basically a chronological telling of the story of the Bible. So you go all the way through the Bible in a way that's understandable to a 5th and 6th grader. Mm-hmm. And that they watch those videos, they read together, and then on Sundays, the kids meet up and they create a book together.
So one of the reasons that we even started this program, we kind of started developing it about 7 or 8 years ago back in the Turning Point. The reason was because we were seeing that some of our high school kids, our teens that had grown up in the church, gone to Kingdom Kids classes their whole life, and great families and all that, but they still didn't have kind of an idea of the overarching story of the Bible. And so when you look at the Bible like it's just a list of do's and don'ts, that's not super inspiring. Mm-hmm. But when you see this bigger adventure that God has been planning, and now that we get to be a part of it, that's something that we can invite our kids into that will really help them. And so we started to see some really great results from this. And so we're wanting to do the same thing here. And so that's why we're putting this effort and energy into it. Mm-hmm. So that through 5th and 6th grade, we're teaching them the great story of God through the Old Testament, through the New Testament, through the stories of the early church, and then through the heroes of the faith between the 1st century and the 21st century. That we're kind of highlighting the different things that have happened in the way that people have continued to take the story and the gospel and spread it and do great things in the world, so that they can see that it's not just something that happened a long time ago, but it is something that is really helping them today. Yeah. And then in 7th and 8th grade, what we're hoping to continue to develop is a way to go through that story again, the Old Testament, the New Testament, our spiritual heroes, in an age-appropriate way for 7th and 8th graders, so it helps deepen that story. So then by the time they get into high school, the conversations we're able to have are more about the character of God and what He's inviting them into, and it's not just about do this or don't do this.
Yes, and the reason that we feel like it's important that you know this, even if you don't have a 5th and 6th grader, if you're an empty nester, everybody, is so that you can see what our thinking is behind raising this next generation.
Right.
And especially people that have smaller kids. We wanted you to know too that we really are investing a lot of time and energy into raising up the next generation.
Right.
So the great news is that since we've brought this program to South Orange County, the South Church has actually made it better, which is what I've found that happens with everything that we do. We have an idea and then they make it better. So Viet Nguyen has taken it upon himself to help out in this area, in that he's already created a website for us, so it's really easy for us to manage the videos and the families to keep up with everything.
Right.
But he's also gamifying this program, which is just a remarkable thing for 5th and 6th graders, you know, to be able to see this as a game, to learn more, to want to do it. You know, that's the way you get people to learn these days, is you make a game out of it.
Yeah.
So
Viet is a junior high teacher. Middle school teacher, so he knows how kids think and what is going to help them. And so the idea is that we create a quiz after these videos that we have, and then the kids can go through the quiz, which helps with the learning. And so, but here's where we want your help. Yes. If you want, is that, I mean, Tracy and I could sit there and come up with all the questions for all of these, or Viet could, but we wanted to see if anybody else in the South would want to help us with that. So if you have 30 minutes or 45 minutes that you can give, what you could do is watch one of these videos and then submit 4 or 5, I think it's 5 questions that we could put on the quiz. So you can listen to the video and think, now what are some good questions we could put on there? So this is just a way for kind of more of the South to be able to help us, you know, make this program better and spread out the load a little bit.
Yeah, and join in our vision of raising up this next generation to love God. We can all do that together.
Absolutely. So Viet has made a video explaining exactly what this looks like and how it will work and what to do and all that. So if you're interested, then you can click on that video below and you can watch that and check that out. And if this is not your thing, that's totally cool. What we do want to ask you to do, though, is just pray for the Heritage Project and for what we're doing to help teach the story of God to the next generation in a way that inspires them to want to follow Jesus as well. So with that, we just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving, and thank you guys for all that you do. Have a great holiday. If you're meeting with your group next weekend, have a great time with your groups, and we cannot wait to see you again next week.